Welcome to 52 Questions for God, where we ask questions you'd like to hear talked about in church but never do. I'm Rick Snider, along with Pastor Chris Bryan, and week 16 of the 52. Do we all have a purpose in life, and what if we struggle to find it?
Yes, the answer to that is yes. Rick Warren, a pastor out in California, wrote a book called Purpose-Driven Living, Purposeful Living. And what it talks about is why do you do what you do when you do it? So what is the purpose in our life? To use the gifts God gave, natural gifts and talents, and then you polish them. But I want to go to a certain point as far as have a purpose in life and struggle to find it, because it's your choice. God doesn't make you do anything, but if you choose to do something, then it becomes not only a choice, it becomes a commitment and a compassion and conviction. So here's the essence of it. Why do we struggle developing it with our purpose? Because anything free has a cost that you can't afford. You cannot afford free. It all begins with the motive of the heart. Why do you do what you do when you do it? Motive, duty, obligation, the internal. Intention, action, result, the external. Why do you do what you do when you do it? So that you, me, or so that God or others. And when we do that and find our purpose in life, just like right now, we don't see any of those people out there, but there's somebody out there learning and saying, wait a minute. Why do I do what I do? So that I can become, or so that someone else can begin? And that's our life.
You know, a lot of people struggle in a way to figure this out. And there are second acts and third acts in our lives, in our age mostly. That, you know, you might have been the best guy at your company for years, but it's time to move on. You want to do something else. I guess that's okay. It's still part of the journey.
It is. When we first came down here, I was walking around. I met a maintenance manager of the place, and we're small talking. I said, "Hey, are you the priest of this parish?" She said, "No, I'm just a maintenance manager." I said, "Don't ever use that word just again," because I found out his life beforehand. 40 years in a job, taking care of things. And all he wants to do is paint the curbs, keep the building cool, keep the lawn looking nice. We don't know where we've been. We don't know for a fact where we want to end up. We know where we are in the precious present and hope to be with God in heaven in eternity.
So often, I've done second acts and thirds in my life. I often tell people that God takes me where I need to go. And it may not be where I necessarily want to be, but it always works out. Always works out in the end. So I just have to trust and keep going. But you got to take a breath when these things happen.
Well, you said the key words, trust and keep going. That Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and then he will direct your steps.
Here you go. I'm Rick Snider for Chris Bryan. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next Sunday.